Howdy, y'all. It is good to be here. It is good to be back. This is going to be a fun and interesting show. I know these scorecards are going to be all over the place. So I'm going to let a bunch of y'all just bleed in, let y'all leak in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. But this is going to be a good show. Let me fix Oscar here. Oscar's been a part of a bunch of controversial decisions. This is gonna be a good show. This is gonna be a really good show. I hope y'all come on and join me. Hopefully we get some comments. Rocket, great fight from Hitchens. A lot of heart. Yeah, Rocket, absolutely. 100% agree. 100% agree. I want to know how y'all had the fight, because I got a feeling that we're going to get scorecards all over the place. I'm going to be upfront. I'm going to be honest. I had it 117, 111, Richardson, Hitchens. I could see 116, 112 if you gave the first round. If you had, how many of y'all had Lemos up 2-0 after two rounds to nothing after two? I gave the first to Hitchens because I only saw Lemos land one shot, and the rest of the work was done by Hitchens, who was in control. But if you flip that, it's 8-4. So I thought 8-4 or 9-3 Hitchens was completely reasonable. I thought those were good cards. If you go back and score it round by round, Rocket had 115, 113. It's fine. I just don't understand what the hell they were watching. And I tweeted this. If you guys go to my Twitter, they got on the quote for cheering for Hitchens, which she was and which she shouldn't have done. Okay, that was her Olympic teammate or whatever. She's known them since the amateurs. They're cool, whatever. She shouldn't cheer on air. They were cheering for Lemos since like the 8th round on. The last 5 rounds of that fight, Mannix, Sergio, they were all rooting. All of them were rooting for Lemos openly. And then like Chris Mannix's scorecard was Chris Mannix's 115, 113 for Lemos was way worse than the 117, 111. Lemos didn't win the fight. Like, this is the same thing with Maidana and Floyd in the first fight. Maidana didn't win the first fight with Floyd. Just because he did better than you expected doesn't mean he won the fight. Lemos did better than you thought Lemos was going to do because you didn't scout him like I did. Go watch my video. I told you this was going to be a dog fight. And Hitchens is going to win because Hitchens is the second best 140-pounder in the world. Go watch my video. I scouted Lemos. I knew exactly what he was. And if he would have jabbed more, he would have won the fight. But he doesn't jab, so it doesn't matter. Hitchens won, and this is the same thing as Maidana Mayweather won, where Maidana did better than you thought he was going to do, so you said he won. Maidana didn't win this fight. Lemos didn't win tonight. He did. Like, if you just look at him at the end of 12 rounds, right? And Rocket's right. Rocket says he hurt Richardson, but man, what a chin. Shout out to Lemos. He did good. Yeah, Lemos is a world-class fighter. Like, Lemos is really good. He's going to struggle with good boxers, but if the boxer can't hit, Lemos is going to run through him. Okay, Lemos is and I said this in my video, Lemos is a world-class 140-pounder. World-class. Unfortunately, for the guy who I think is the best 140-pounder in the world. Right there with Devin Haney. Lemos is going to beat a lot of guys at 140 pounds. He beats a lot of guys. He beats Prograis. But we can go through the names later. But he's going to beat a lot of guys. Lemos is going to beat a lot of guys at 140 pounds. I said in my video, this is going to be a dog fight. Lemos is a world-class fighter. He just doesn't jab enough, and he didn't. And Hitchens is going to win. And it's exactly what happened. Like the tape on Lemos was out there. Like when I do my videos and I tell you who, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I was 5-0 again this week. Okay. I was 5-0 again. All the videos are up. You can fact check me. I was 5-0 again this week. If you're my Patreon, if you're in my Patreon, like Rocket is, I hit on the lock of the week again. A 3-bet parlay. I hit again. Look, the tape is out there. You can study the tape. Now, I do it because I make money on it, and this is how I make money. I do it so y'all don't have to. But all I do is tell you what they put on tape. All I did was tell you what Richardson Hitchens has put on tape for the last 7 years. All I did was tell you what Lemos put on the tape for the last however many years he's been fighting. That's all I do is tell you what they put on tape and how this fight's going to happen. Great job. Matisse is going to be tough for Richardson. Yeah. Matias is flawed in a way too. Like, but Matias is a friggin' wrecking ball, right? Like, Matias can do 3 things: hurt you, and hurt you. I don't know, man. Like, who do y'all like in that fight? Who do y'all like, Matias or Richardson Hitchens? I gotta go watch more tape on Matias and see how glaring his flaws are. I don't know, man. That's a tough fight. I'm gonna pick Hitchens now. I may change that. Good for Rocket. Good for Rocket. Rocket won some good money today. Good. This was. I told you the odds on that fight were too wide, but Hitchens was gonna win the fight. Hitchens is just another level. I know Rocket had it 15-13. I had it 17-11. I could see 8-4. I would like to know the other round. I don't see this. I don't see it being a draw. Like, let's give him the first round. Let's give him the second round. He's up 2-0. He won the 8th and he won the 11th. I don't see any more rounds that he won. 1, 2, 8, and 11. And that's if you give him the first round, which I don't think this was a hard fight to score. I think the first round was a toss-up. I gave it to Hitchens because he did better for the majority of the round, but Lemos landed the best shot in the round. Fine. Let's give him the first round. 1, 2, 8, and 11. What other rounds did he win? I didn't see any other rounds that he won. Rafa, did you score it? Did you guys score the fight? Oh no, I drew up from Matias and Hitchens. Yeah. What I liked about Hitchens is Hitchens showed that he was a dog today. Like, Hitchens got that in him. He doesn't just have the skill and the speed, right? Like, he's got the dog in him. And I think Hitchens, you don't know that until you have to have it. And he had it. So Matias Hitchens, man, it's a tough fight. I'm gonna lean towards Hitchens. Because I think Hitchens can hold his own on the inside. Right, like I usually take the pressure fighter if they're evenly matched, but Hitchens can hit. Hitchens is a dog. I'm gonna lean towards Hitchens. Look like a draw, Rafa said. All right. Yo, Hitchens has a ton of heart. Yeah, if you just look at both guys at the end of the night and said, who's the worst for wear? Who would you rather be? Right? You would say Hitchens was the worst for wear, and I'd rather be Lemos. But that's not how you score a fight, right? Like, whatever Lemos hit him with in the 8th round changed the fight. But Hitchens still won the rest of the rounds besides the 11th. Like, I agree. What he got hit with changed the fight. But it didn't win him. It won him that round. And in the 8th, Hitchens rallied all the way back and won the second half of the round. But, you know, that's still a Hitchens. That's still a Hitchens round. I mean, it's still a Lemos round. Still a Lemos round. But Hitchens recovered and outboxed again in that second half of that round. And then he won the 9th. He dominated him in the 10th. Lemos picked it up in the 11th. And in the 12th round, Lemos didn't land anything. It was clearly that 12th round was was a Hitchens round. It's like, okay, the fight changed in the 8th round, except Hitchens won the new fight too. Like, just because a guy does better than you expect doesn't mean he did better than the other guy. And Lemos didn't do better. Lemos did better than y'all thought Lemos was going to do. Lemos did not do better than Richardson Hitchens in that fight. 117-111 is a fine scorecard. What up, JJ? Hitchens should have been docked a point for excessive holdings. It was the 8th round where he got badly hurt, right? That was the 8th round. I don't disagree, but he wasn't, right? Like, I think JJ, if I'm the ref, yeah, I'd have taken a point for sure in the 8th. And then maybe, because basically from the 8th round on, Hitchens was looking to score and hold, right? And that was the new fight. And he did it. But JJ is right. Like, take a point from him. Make him stop. Make him fight. I agree. If you take 1 point from him, now you're going to make him fight. Now, if you take 2 points from him, the whole fight's different. I agree with JJ, but the ref has the sole discretion to take points, and the ref didn't do that. But I do agree that the ref absolutely in the 8th round should have taken a point from Hitchens. You could have argued later in the fight, could have taken another one too. Hitchens said he wasn't 100%, but didn't want to elaborate. Hitch, don't do that, man. Like, you went in the fight, you took the fight, you took the paycheck. It's a fight. It's a fight. Like, you know, if you weren't fit to fight, you should have said something. You took the fight, take the fight. Hitchens looked fine to me. It just looked like he had a dog on him, right? Like, I mean, he was doing fine until the 8th round. JJ says, I mean, he was worn like 10 times as high. I'm with JJ, right? But if I'm scoring it and the ref doesn't take the point and Richardson Hitchens does the better work, he wins the round, even if he should have a point deducted, which I agree. At least one, possibly another one later in the fight, because all he did was hold. He'd score, he'd hit him with a jab, right hand, hold him, because his legs were gone. Now he's just fighting on instinct, and he's fighting on his brain. Like, Hitchens is clearly the smarter fighter in the ring. Like, that's obvious. And he used the ref one to take a point, and he was letting him do it, so he was going to do it. But I agree with JJ, especially in that 8th round. I was thinking the same thing. This ref's going to take a point, and he never did. I'd have taken a point from him. But the ref didn't do it, so on my scorecard, I can't give the round. I can't take the point from Hitchens. But I do want to talk about this. The Super Bowl Matias fight versus Richardson and Hitchens. I want to know what y'all think of that fight. Because that's the fight right there, man. Like, first off, as a pressure fighter, I think Matias definitely hits harder than Lemos. If Matias hits Hitchens with the same shot that Lemos did, it's night-night. It's night-night time. Who's a better pressure fighter, though? Lemos or Matias? I agree that Matias hits harder, but is he the better pressure fighter? Lemos showed today that he is a dog, man. And I knew this was coming. I didn't think this was going to do this well and have Hitchens in this much trouble, but I knew this fight was going to be damn good. I knew Lemos was better than what he was getting credit for, and I knew that he was going to make this a fight. I didn't expect him to really make Hitchens work as much as he did. There's going to be a fight. You can go check my video out. It's going to be a fight. I think now we've established Lemos is a world-class fighter. He's going to be a legitimate 140-pounder. He's going to be in the world title picture for a long time. He's going to be in a ton of fun fights. Can't help it. He's going to beat good fighters, and he's going to be in the picture. Does he get to a world title? Who knows? I don't know. But he's going to be relevant. He's going to be in the world title discussion for a long time to come. Lemos was he's a world-class fighter. He belongs in that discussion. I want to put this out there. Lemos versus Ryan Garcia. Who wins? Lemos beats him, doesn't he? Anyone want to disagree? Anyone think Ryan Garcia beats Gustavo Lemos? Because I don't think so. You know, Gosh, still got this going. You guys want to disagree on that? You know, we can just kind of go through the names at 140, and there's not a ton of names that you're gonna pick to beat Gustavo Lemos. Haney, okay. Here's one. Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez and Gustavo Lemos. Lemos might stop him. Gustavo Lemos and Isaac Cruz. Jack Catterall, Sandor Martin, Liam Paro. You see what I'm saying? Like, real talk, Gustavo may run the table against these guys, right? And, you know, I don't think he can track Haney down, but, like, he's got to jab more. He's got to jab more. If you just jab, you distract the guy, you keep him busy, and then you can sneak that right. You know, you can sneak the power shots in, but you got to say you can't just lunge in with power shots. I mean, it worked one time or two times, right? And I know he can hit, but Lemos can't hit the same way that Matias can. I think Matias is better than Lemos. Now I'm thinking about it, right? Like, I think Matias is flawed, but I think he definitely wins. I think Matias. Now, Lemos against the other guys, Lemos beats Ryan Garcia. Lemos might beat Teofimo Lopez. He beats Liam Paro. He beats Jack Catterall. He beats Sandor Martin. Isaac Cruz. He beats Isaac Cruz because Cruz is just too small. He's a player now at 140 pounds. He's established himself as that. He's earned that. He's a player. He's going to be relevant. He's going to get a title shot at some point. Whether or not he wins it, I don't know. It's going to depend on who it comes against. But he's going to beat guys at 140 pounds. These Argentinian guys are no joke, man. They are absolutely no joke. I'm interested in knowing what you guys had. Put your scorecards. I want to know what y'all had. Put y'all scorecards in the chat. And let me know. We're gonna get Richardson, Hitchens, and Subaru Matias. I want to know who y'all think are gonna win that fight, because right now I'm gonna lean towards Hitchens, but that's a 50-50 type of fight. Who do y'all got in that fight? And also, who do you want to see Lemos fight next? I want to see him fight Isaac Cruz next. That's what I would like to see. Regis Progress. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see him fight Isaac Cruz. Now, he's probably going to have to get a win before that. 50-50. I don't know. Oh, I want to see Lemos back. I want to see Lemos get a win. Get him a guy. You know, let him pick up a win. But then, like, I want to see Lemos back. I want Richardson to win too. But this is a great fight. We got to do it in New York City. Richardson, Hitchens, Subaru Matias. Let's do it in New York City. It's a great fight. You got the Brooklyn kid. You got the Puerto Rican champion. Why would we not do this in the Garden? Like, this has got to be done in the Garden. I'm gonna send a message to Eddie. Like, we got to do this in the Garden. There's no other place to do this. Should have been a draw, in my opinion. Happy weekend. Happy weekend to you, my man Colton. So Colton had a draw. I had it for Matias. I had it for Matias. I had it for Richardson, Hitchens. I thought Lemos did better than expected, but he didn't do better than Hitchens. And, you know, I get people were shocked, but, like, I put this in the video I did. Lemos is a world-class fighter. He's really good. He was going to give Hitchens problems. Now, I didn't think it was going to be this hard, but I knew this was going to be a fight. And this was the hardest one of my my lock of the week, my parlay that we hit again. And I went 5-0 this week again. Also, What did you guys watch the whole card? Did you watch Mark Castro? They were kind of giving Mark Castro a hard time, and I've given Mark Castro a hard time in the past. I think, given his level of opposition, given that this was the hardest fight he's ever had, the best opponent he's ever had, I thought Mark Castro looked the best I've seen him. I really do. I didn't understand why they were, he barely lost a round, maybe a round or two in a 10-round fight. Like I thought Castro looked really good. I think Galliafy looks pretty good. I think if you're Eddie Hearn, I think you're happy with the way that those two guys looked. I think if you thought Castro and Yafai were on a world championship pedigree, a world championship trajectory, I think today confirms that. The one I was worried about was Diego Pacheco. I don't think Pacheco, who won the fight clearly, looked great. And I know McColeman is a tough guy to deal with. But if Pacheco wants to be a world champion at 168 pounds, with all those names at 168, he didn't look great. It's not a great performance. And he won, and I knew he would. But you want a better performance than that. Like, that was not a performance that makes me say that guy's going to be a world champion at all. Castro won on points. Yeah, Mark Castro won on points. He won. It was a competitive fight to a degree, but Castro won basically every round. Maybe a round or two. He lost maybe two tops. Probably one. Probably 9-1 is probably the best scorecard you could have there. But Castro won. But he was pushed. He was tested. He was hit. But it was he clearly won the fight. And then in the women's fight, I don't like either one of those fighters. I guess Sky Nicholson looked better than I expected. But she clearly won. I mean, she won almost every round too. I was not impressed with Sky Nicholson. I really don't think that was a great performance. I'm not a fan. I don't really think Sky Nicholson is something more special. I understand her story is cool. I like her story. It's cool. I don't see anything in her that makes me go, wow, she's a great fighter. She can turn you, and she's going to lose to good fighters. Like, that's just how I see it. Say Mark Castro may go up to 135, go fight Keyshawn Davis. He's not ready for that. Keyshawn Davis, Andy Cruz, those guys are going to destroy him. I don't know if he can continue to make 130. Like, he's a big boy. He really drains himself to make 130. If he can stay at 130, I think that's good. I just don't know if that's realistic. Like, he's a big guy. He's 24. His body filling out. He's getting older. He may have to come up, and if he does, 135 is the wrong division for him. There are names for him at 30 that he can beat. He can do well at 30, but 35 is the bridge too far. Assad says Frank Warren has a female fighter called Raven Chapman. She will be, yeah, I know Raven Chapman. Yeah, I don't see why not, Assad. I don't really, like, I'm not saying this guy sucks, but I'm not really a fan. I said that in my video too. I mean, she'll win, but I mean, she's just not physically gifted in any sense. Raven Chapman is better hitter. She's faster. She can jab. She can get in and out. Yeah, I would probably lean towards Raven Chapman enough. I know Raven Chapman. I don't really see a whole lot in Sky Nicholson. I don't think Eddie's sleeping with her. Is that what we're doing here? Is that why he's manufactured her career? I'm kidding, but like I'm not. Like, I'm kidding, but I'm asking. I'm being serious in a joking manner. And back to the main event. We'll get back to the main event. Hitchens was taking care of business from rounds 3 to round 7, right? So that's 5 rounds right there where I don't even think you can argue he lost one. So that's 5 rounds, which means in order to win the fight, Lemos would have had to win every single other round. Okay, I gotta address Ryan. This is my boy, Ryan Hong. Sky stops Tanahara. I gotta draw the line there, Ryan. Sky hits about as hard as Tanahara does. Tanahara's not getting stopped by Sky, but I appreciate that. I do, Sky. I do, Brian. That's funny. Tanahara versus Mark Castro. Who you got, Ryan? Tanahara and Castro. Who you like? Colt Mills. This is off topic, but Buycheck surprised me in the Mendoza. Yeah, I thought Mendoza was going to win. I didn't do a video on that fight. I was surprised too. I still like Mendoza. I want Spence to fight Mendoza next. That's what I want to see. My boy Muscles Brown said, "We did it, G. Close one, but we did it, bro." So, Muscles, share a success story. Do a testimony. How much money have you made with me? Off of my advice, share with them how much money you've made. Assad said, that reminds me, Nina Universe, Shanika Johnson, potential upset. You guys want? When is that fight? I wouldn't. When is that fight? I can do a video on that fight if you guys want. Ryan Hong says probably Castro. Yeah, probably. I probably agree. Muscles Brown was asked how much money we've made together. I'm going to be honest, over 50K easy. Guys, join the Patreon. Get the lock of the week. It's $5. It's $5. It's $5 a month. This man's made over $50,000 betting with me. I've made with you. He's made over $50,000 with me. It's the lock of the week is $5 a month. He's made $50,000 with me. Loma Cambosa's undercard in a few weeks. Okay, it's a good fight. Yeah, I'll do a video on that fight. I want because I want to go watch both fighters again. So I'll do a video on that. Many more. We make money every single week. I think we've lost money in 1 week. I think. It's been doing this for 2 months. We make money every single week. We're saying a lot, guys. The odds makers, the bookies, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to handicap the sport. I do. You guys want to make money? Join the Patreon. Join the Patreon. It's $5 a month. You're going to make a ton of money. I'm going to put the link in the description. Join the Patreon. You get the lock of the week. The lock of the week is $5 a month. Homeboy right here has made $50,000 betting with me. Would you be interested in making $50,000 betting? I agree, Muscles. Muscles says y'all are crazy not to join this Patreon, man. I agree. $5 a month makes you $50,000 in a couple of months. Guys, do the math of that. Jay says, I bet $10 on Hitchens by KO, and he let me down. I didn't say to pick him by KO. I said to take him on the money line. What up says, Lemos is way less nuanced pressure than Matias. Can't hold Matias without taking damage. Maybe. Okay, I wanna get into this. Hawker Mustang says robbery. All right, fine, fair enough. How did you have it, Hawker? How did you have this fight? And tell me the rounds that you thought Lemos won. Because I knew this was coming. I knew that there were going to be people who were going to cry robbery, right? Because the idiots, Chris Mannix had a ridiculous scorecard, which didn't reflect reality. And then the one judge who had the best scorecard, 117, 111, he blasts. It's like, No, 117, 111 is a completely reasonable scorecard. If Hooker wants to join me, I'll send you the link and you can join me and we'll debate this because there's no way this fight was a robbery. Muscle Brown says, if Hitchens wins fights like this against Matias, I guess, I don't think he will last, bro. If he gets hit like he did with Lemos, with Matias will stop him. He can't get hit like that again. That's true. The judges had it. I thought 2 of the 3 judges had it too close. Like, he didn't win the rounds. Lemos won all the second half. He won the 8th and the 11th. Rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 were dominated by Hitchens. That's 5 rounds. That means in order for, right, you can't even argue 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can't even argue that not even one of those rounds Lemos won. That's 5 rounds. In order for him to win, he has to win every other round. You can give him the first 2, okay, and the 8th. The first 2, the 8th, and the 11th. There's no other rounds you could have won. This fight can't be closer than 116, 112. There's just no other rounds you can give him. So there's no way you can get this closer to 116, 112. It's the closest you can do. It wasn't a hard fight to score. The only toss-up round was the first. The second was close too. But I think we all agree that Lemos won the second. So the only close round is the first. If Matias K was minus 150, I would put like $5,000 on that. If that, I think that what up? I think minus 150. I think you guys are that confident. I don't think like that's not crazy. I will see what it is when the fight comes out, but I don't think that's crazy. I expected the robbery. Okay. All right. Here. Putting this in. Hawk, you want to join me? Click that link. You'll go on live with me. I'll let you in, and we can go over our scorecards. You can show me the rounds. That's 9-3. That's insane. He says he had it 117, 111 for Lemos. At most, he won 4 rounds. At the absolute most, he won 4 rounds. But also, what I want to put out there is, and this was not a robbery. The judges had it too close. Hitchens won wider than the judges, than 2 of the 3 judges had it. You have to factor in when you're betting. You have to factor in robbery and corruption. You have to give the hometown fighter or the A-side fighter that advantage. If it's a close fight, it's probably going to go to that guy. Right? I'm not saying it's just. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying when we bet, we have to bet on reality, especially in top-ranked fights. You have to know that this thing is probably going to go, and Golden Boy too. Let's not forget Golden. That this thing is probably going to go to the A side or the hometown fighter. It always does. He was landing way more. He was landing clean shots from the long range. He was landing more shots on the inside. Like, Lemos did better than I expected. Does not mean Lemos won the fight. And it's the same thing as Maidana and Mayweather in the first fight. Everyone's like, Maidana beat Mayweather. No, he didn't. Maidana did not win the first Floyd fight. It just didn't happen that way. He did better than you thought. That doesn't mean he did better than Floyd. If that wasn't Floyd Mayweather and Marcos Maidana, if it was just 2 different guys in that same fight, you would have said Mayweather won. If you had watched Lemos and knew that he was good, and you're just scoring, and you're not shocked that Lemos is doing better than you expected, you would have said Hitchens won a good competitive fight. But Richardson Hitchens won that fight. If Hawk wants to join me, link is in the chat. Click on the link. That's the link right there. Click on it. You can join me. We can debate this. But you know he didn't win that fight, right? Like, you know he didn't win that fight. And I knew that was coming. I knew there were going to be people, I thought there would be more crying robbery, like crying that Lemos got robbed. Abdullah Mason stopped. I like Abdullah Mason to stop almost everyone. Kids like 18, 19 years old. I like him to stop almost anyone. Well, I haven't looked at the odds yet. What is he, like minus 3,000? I mean, he's a lock to win. Abdullah Mason, I think, is the best prospect in the sport. Him and Shushu Carrington. But I think, like, if I had to pick one between the two, I'd probably go Mason. What are the odds on his fight right now? I mean, if he's like minus 5,000, it's not worth it for me to put in. But now on the stoppage, we may want to look at that. I got to scout his opponent a little bit, but I'm picking Abdullah Mason to beat almost anyone. Abdullah Mason is so good. I really do think Abdullah Mason is the best prospect in the sport right now. He was my prospect of the year for 2023. And I don't give it out, I'm going to give it to someone else this year. I won't give him the award 2 years in a row. Renell Ron. I'm going to be at that fight in Corpus Christi. Yeah, is he going to stop this guy? I would imagine so. He's been stopped once. Renell Ron, who is... Oh, he was stopped by Hector Garcia in 2019. Yeah, he's getting stopped. Here, I got one for you. Mark Castro and Abdullah Mason. Does anyone pick Mark Castro to beat Abdullah Mason? I think that's crazy. I think Abdullah Mason stops Castro. But I know a lot of people like Castro. Abdullah Mason and Castro, who y'all got? See, I like Muscles Brown. That Mayweather Madonna fight is a perfect example. It is. He did better than I expected. Does not mean he won the fight. Colton Miller. Something else off topic. Shout out Nicholas Walton. Hell yeah, the Axeman. The Axeman. I didn't touch that fight because the Axeman's fought twice in like 8 years. But yeah, no, I'm a big Axeman fan. That's a good call. That's a good pull, Colton Miller. I did not touch that fight. I don't know. Like, he's fighting Adorno, I think. Adorno sucks. And Nicholas Walters fought twice in 8 years or something. I'm like, I'm not touching this fight. But I'm glad you did. I'm glad you made money on that. I'm a Axeman fan. I was happy to see that. Muscles around because they see Hitch got touched up a few times and think that he lost. Yeah, because you weren't expecting anything from Lemos. But, like, that doesn't matter. First of all, like, you should have watched the tape on him. In my video, I said that Lemos is a world-class fighter who's going to give Hitchens problems, but Hitchens is going to win. And it's exactly what, now it was closer than I thought, but still. Ultimately, I was right on that. I haven't checked the odds yet. I'm going to pull them up if you want. Let me see if I can find them. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to try to see if they have the odds up for Abdullah Mason. They're not going to have the props up on it yet, but let me see if they got anything on. Here you go. I got it. I found it. Hang on. I'm going to share this with y'all. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Abdullah Mason is minus 4,000. He's going to win. I don't think I'm going to add that to my life because it doesn't make any money. This guy lost to my boy Gregory Morales. He's not a terrible fighter, but he's certainly going to lose to Abdullah Mason. I can promise you that. Once we get the props, we'll look at the props and we'll make a decision on the stoppage. But yeah, Abdullah Mason stops him. How did you score Zoo versus Fundora fight, and which rounds did you score? I don't have my scorecard. I can try to find it. But I had it close for Fundora. I had it, was it 15-13, I want to say, for Fundora. I could see it going either way. I watched it again. I think Fundora won the fight, but it was close. I'll try to find my scorecard. Hitchens' legs look gone. They did. Ralph is right. Like Hitchens, like I said, if you just look at them at the end of 12 rounds and said who's the worst for wear, Hitchens was the worst for wear. But that's not how you score a fight. Like there was a moment in there in the 8th, and then again like in the 10th or 11th, where I was like, Hitchens needs to survive this. Like his legs don't look good, but he won more rounds. Easy work for Abdullah Mason and Mark Castro. One guy's 19, the other guy's 24, and the 19-year-old cleans his clock. Tszyu versus Fundora as well. There, Raphael said it was the bloodiest boxing fight he's seen in 25. Yeah, no, it was. I mean, the other two that come to mind were the Badu Jack fight, right, where Badu Jack had the cut, and then Marlena Esparza and Sinisa Estrada, where Marlene had the cut too. But those are the ones that come to mind. It's really, really bloody. JJ, I like JJ. How did you have Fundora and Tszyu? Did you have Fundora winning? I've seen some people have Tszyu winning. It was a crazy fight, and Tszyu was winning early. I don't think it's like disrespectful to have Tszyu winning. I didn't see it that way. Did anyone in the chat have a reasonable scorecard with Tszyu winning? Because I could respect that to a degree. If you had Tszyu winning a close fight, I just didn't see it that way. All right, we're gonna wrap this guys up. So, is there anything else you guys want to touch on? We got a Pro Box card this week. We do, right? Who fights on Pro Box this week? Because we'll do a Wednesday show. We'll do a Wednesday show after Pro Box, and then Friday I'm gonna be in Corpus Christi for the Jared Anderson card, so I won't be able to do a show after that. I didn't have Fundora winning. I thought it was as close as a draw as you can get. Yeah, I could see it going either way. I've watched it again. Have you watched it again, JJ? Watch it again. Score it again. Like scoring originally, it was so close. It's a super close fight. I don't have a problem. If you had it 115, 115 Fundora, it's all right. Not how I saw it, but I get it. Colton says, have a good week. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up, guys. One last time. Really good night of boxing. Link is in the description. Join the Patreon. $5 a month. You get the lock of the week. You can ask for a handicap fight. I'll show you how to make money on any fight you want. Like Muscles Brown said, he's made over $50,000 betting with me over the last month or two. If you don't have that much money to bet, we're going to make you money. If you want to make $100 bet, whatever you want to bet, we're going to make you money every single week. And again, I went 5-0 this week. So join the Patreon. Links in the description. Appreciate y'all, everyone in the chat. We'll do this again Wednesday night. We'll do this again Wednesday after the Pro Box. There's a Pro Box card this week, right? I think there is. So we'll do this again Wednesday night. From Texas to the world, thank you, and God bless.